Hello, friends. Welcome. SUNSfan here with my friend Charmer. How's it going, buddy?
Why is it that only with my name is when you get an accent? And I'm not even Irish or anything.
Do you think that's an Irish accent? What
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing Lucky Charms.
No, what? What?
Yeah.
No. Oh, no, Charmer. I can't even say it anymore. Charmer.
There we go.
That is not, okay. Anyway, we're going to get in the game. We got Maggo versus Barry. What is Barry wearing? We will find out very shortly. I know everybody's waiting on the edge of their seats.
Well, I have good news for Barry.
What's that?
Okay. I had Maggo winning this on my bracket. Now, my bracket is currently perfect.
Perfectly awful.
In that the exact opposite of every game
you have skill,
has
my
won.
friend.
So,
Yeah.
Barry, congratulations. We don't even need to play this out. You have won.
I'm not far off on that, to be perfectly honest. I have had horrendous luck so far.
All right.
And, oh, boy, Barry is not wearing his patented sweater today. It's just a long-sleeve shirt. And Maggo looking like he's
in
really
the dark.
in the dark.
Yeah.
What in the world? It's like a vampire over there. But yeah, the Darkseer is on Barry's side. We've seen this before. I don't know if I've talked to you about it. You like the Darkseer in these ramp decks? Is that your
I do. I think that in
two?
the ramp deck specifically, it is the best of the options for your second green hero. Because, as I said on the panel before, you're really just looking for what provides the best utility. And I think that the mobility from Darkseer makes up for the lackluster signature card, which isn't the end of the world. It's not super garbage, but...
Right. Yep, totally agree. Roseleaf Druid's going to come to the right side, which is very important because now Maggo cannot go for a potential arrow on the left to get the kill onto Darkseer.
Well, I have to think that this Phantom Assassin came to this lane because you have gank on your mind.
Oh, who do you want? You want this guy over here?
There was a guaranteed... this was going to be matched up against Axe. And unless you're just trying to trade with Axe over 2 turns, the only other reason that you put Phantom Assassin here is if you want to gank. But instead...
The problem with that is that you do trade your life this round, right?
You do.
Which is a bit annoying.
Right.
Now, is he running any hip fires? He's running a pick-off, so he could potentially pick that up.
So now we see the Salamani's favor come down, and that was what I was just about to highlight, right? You do trade your life, but you trade it for a green hero, and one of the ways you target the red-green ramp deck is making sure that they can't ramp. So
technically, you could still do that in this
you could
lane, right?
still do that,
So holding on to it.
but with the Salamaner's favor already down.
Salamaners.
Yeah,
Salamaners. Yeah, I love it.
Favor. There's already 8 Magicka here, or mana. Sorry,
Yeah.
I am all over.
You're doing just fine, buddy. You're with me. You can't do much worse. It's fine. All right, Beastmaster coming. Is he actually going to the first lane? You think he will top deck that Time of Triumph? That is the question.
Even if he doesn't, we have a pretty juicy Berserker's Call lined up.
That's true.
You could sacrifice that Axe for a 3-for-1, and that's entirely reasonable. And then with the Beastmaster here, you still have a red hero paired with a green for following turns. So I do like this deployment.
Now, the scary thing for the right side, the right lane here from Maggo, is that you have a Red Mist Pillager. We've seen so many of these lanes just given up very early in these matchups, especially in the last couple series especially. So we see a Time of Triumph picked up by Maggo, but of course, he is not playing any sort of a ramp. In the meantime, Barry, like you said, the Berserker's Call could come out.
Yeah,
does have a lot of ramp, but nothing
to play with it. So this, I was going to say, is a very attractive call because you also keep your other units alive. You clear the board.
You could potentially Stars Align Mist if you want.
If you want it, but it's not really an attractive mist.
The reason I say it is because you do have 2 Salamani's favors in your hand. Just chilling there.
You could also just Stars Align and then favor in another lane as well.
Yeah, you could do that too.
You know, it's not doing anything now, but it opens up your options
only
for
one
as
enough magic,
the
right?
game goes.
So Stars Align maybe not as bad as it has been recently, since only 1 enough magic in the deck.
I'm actually surprised that there's only 1 enough magic because this is a list that also has Red Mist Pillager, and sometimes when you get those expanding and you can enough magic and prevent somebody from responding, you can get an awful lot done.
Yeah, that's true.
But this is a great duel, and Maggo is pretty firmly in control of this lane after that.
Absolutely.
And also in control in this last lane.
Indeed.
I have to assume this is going to be the Red Mist Pillager, which is great against red-green ramp because of their inability to wipe the board with something like an Annihilation, like an At Any Cost.
Yeah.
They have to do it with blockers.
Yeah, this is, I mean, if anybody's watched Artifact, they know that this is one of the scariest units in the game when left to its own solitude here, which is exactly the case here. I mean, you can actually just take Axe out of this lane after one more punch to the tower, and you don't have to worry about it. You could just go 80 without a hero.
The very first game of Artifact that I ever lost was to Red Mist Pillager at PAX. Yeah.
Yeah, PAX was a very popular. I have to say, at that point in the beta, Red Mist Pillager was not very popular. And then PAX opened the eyes of some people like, oh, actually, maybe it is kind of okay.
I was racing somebody, and they were going for an Ancient, and I could not get through, and that was the first time I'd ever lost.
Oh, wow. That is... So you have scars from Red Mist Pillager. So we don't see any big-time cards again drawn by Barry, so he's going to have to... I mean, you're going to probably have to surge something out here. This is essentially a given-up lane for his opponent.
Perfect.
You might wait a turn to surge.
Really? Why?
Well, because if you use the Beastmaster activation, you can secure this tower just 100% this turn, and then potentially surge next turn.
But are you really worried about this tower going? You do have Mist of Avernus,
a
lot of creeps. I think he's going to move Beastmaster. You get another blocker with his Boar available right away.
There's no weapon
and you have Blink Dagger. So you can bring 2 heroes if you really want. We've seen some people in the last few series maybe overextend a bit in this blinking scenario, as it were.
You could also, if you want to just save the Beastmaster activation, you could send Beastmaster down there and then get another blocker that way as well.
Yeah. Of course, there is
Cheeseburger. That is
Man
exactly
there.
what happens.
All right, let's see where he ended up here. Right in front of Cheeseburger Man. So.
That is a very good placement for Barry.
Yeah. Jasper Daggers will have to be used if he wants to take out the Stonehall Elite, though. Meanwhile, we do have Blink Dagger available to use for Tidehunter at some point in the game, which is extremely important. One of those heroes that sometimes you just never get the Ravage off.
Yeah.
It feels real bad.
And then it feels extra bad because you put Tidehunter in your deck, who
that's literally
is only there for Ravage.
He's there for Ravage and Initiative. That's it.
Yeah.
Which I have to say, the Initiative cards have been pretty big overall in this tournament. He's going to use the TP, though. Save that Blink Dagger for now, as Bristleback probably will be accompanied by a Legion Standard Bearer. Do some extra damage here.
All right. Look at you with your quality predictions and analysis.
It's very difficult prediction there.
Very difficult.
Big call. That's going to suicide the LC, but takes a lot of people with her.
Yeah, and if you're trying to stall, that is a very, very good call.
Absolutely.
Red Mist Pillagers, again, sometimes can go out of control, but we see the power of the mobility in this particular version of the red-green list. Darkseer coming up big.
All right, so saving the Jasper Daggers obviously would have been enough to actually kill the Stonehall Elite, but there is a Tidehunter on the other side where Ravage could win in the game, but if you have Jasper Daggers, it will unstun, and look for that to potentially be a moment forthcoming.
So Barry did a great job of buying time. However, Maggo gets to deploy 3 heroes this turn and go back on the offensive, continue pressuring these towers. With the deployments for Barry here, I think you're hoping that you finally find your time of triumph.
Oh, yeah.
Get it on 3 heroes. That first lane already pressured enough. You don't have to focus there. So.
Yeah, and this deployment by PA indicates that gank is incoming, and I would be shocked if it's not on the Treant Protector. Exactly 10 damage will be enough to take him out. And again, Barry kind of not getting the draws that he needs. He has so much ramp, but so little to ramp into.
It's also possible that we see a kill on the Darkseer here if you're just trying to stall this lane a little bit further and prevent the mobility on the following turn.
This is too scary.
Yeah, I mean, that
if he had Emissary, this would be very scary. Obviously, Time of Triumph, you can't do anything about it at this point, right? You do have Ravage, though.
That is really scary. If you wanted to protect your Stonehall Elite, you could also consider just ganking the Beastmaster, because they're already above the 8 mana mark there, so the green hero isn't as necessary as far as killing something.
All right, going up to 12 damage, does that make any difference? You can kill Axe now, in theory.
Could kill Axe.
You'll still die to the creep unless you blink.
Yeah, I still personally really like Beastmaster for saving your high value creep, and then if you blink over, you could use your coup de grace on another hero as well.
Yeah, I like the blink out a lot. Yeah, I think the green here, you kind of have to take out. Okay, going for the Beastmaster. The reason I say this is because the Ravage is going to guarantee stun these 2 reds if you get it off.
It is, but this opens up your creep, and it's going to get buffed because it was a cross, so it makes that cheeseburger man, if you will,
That's true.
even more well-fed.
I do love feeding that cheeseburger man, so I can't disagree with this too much. It is a bit of a risk, but we can see that it's going to pay off pretty strongly for Maggo, as we're going to see it blink out very shortly, and you could just use Kraken Shell in the mid lane to gain back initiative.
And then get back initiative and use coup de grace there. So Maggo loses this lane, but is using all of the tools available here to be well set up in lane 2 and lane 3.
Yeah, he's definitely looking good right now. Definitely expect the Kraken Shell to come out like we talked about. Do you Ravage in that case, or do you just take the coup? Because Ravaging will only essentially Ravage 1 hero. Right? I assume you're taking out the green.
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe not.
Maybe not, actually. I don't know.
I think that you would take the coup and you would do it on Axe, because now the only thing they can play is Emissary, which honestly isn't really that scary.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Quite a few choices to make here. Gonna go for the Ravage. It will stun. Axe guaranteed. Does not get Treant, though. But again, there's nothing to be played for Barry. Barry does not look very happy on his webcam right now.
Yeah, so I actually take it back. With the Ravage guaranteeing stunning Axe here, I like this because then if they counter with Jasper Daggers, then you can coup, right?
I'd like to see a Lodestone Demolition, please. That's 3 damage to the tower. I know coup is better, but let's just see it. I want to see the animation one time in my life, and I don't have long in this world, I don't believe. Well, okay, coup de grace opens up 6 damage on the tower, and then that opens up an additional 2, so that's 8. He will be just a bit short of
All right, so there's the daggers, and so now I would like to, like I said, see the coup on the Axe just to shut down red, because your Legion's already going to trade with the Treant.
All right.
Because again, of the cards that you're scared of right now, in my opinion, if you're Maggo, an Emissary, not great for you, but a Time of Triumph is far worse.
That's true. You do have another red hero coming in next turn as well for Barry. I guess I kind of agree. The Emissary is not super scary. Wow.
Yeah.
That is very surprising.
That is not at all what I was expecting. Because, again, you leave the red hero up, and now
you're punished.
Now you're punished.
And now a Stonehall Elite can come out for Barry, and he can actually try to salvage this lane.
Yeah, the only thing that I can think of here is that you are afraid that if you use the coup de grace, you were going to discard Lodestone.
I have to interrupt you, my friend. This is 7 damage to the tower. I think we're going to see our first Lodestone Demolition. Right? He's not going to have opportunity to do this again.
Well,
come on.
Come on now. You've got a healthy tower.
Maggo, let's go.
Now, hear me out. You got a healthy tower. You're going to lose your PA, but you probably don't lose this the following turn, even if they time. Then on the following turn, you come back. They've got all that armor.
But do they have oh my God, why are you doing this to me? Why?
Yeah, I think that, just
Not
feeding
cooing.
into it, the reason that we didn't see coup de grace is because you didn't want to discard that Lodestone Demolition. We know how important it is. It's required to win the series.
God help us all. Unfortunately for him, only 1 unit will be buffing, or the Treant will only be buffing 1 unit. But of course, he doesn't have a black hero anyway in that lane. Not cooing could that could have been the biggest mistake.
Yeah, it could end up being costly. And as we've seen throughout the day, it only takes 1 mistake for things to go entirely south. We are at the point where it is great artifact play by both players.
Well, this is kind of disgusting. You can surge a creep. You might as well actually maybe you just leave the creeps here to be able to go for 80. But you can blink Darkseer, you can blink LC. You have a Time of Triumph that was just drawn for Barry.
Like, in all honesty, your ability to push 80 in that first lane, if you just drop another mist here as well, is incredibly high. Yeah.
And no one
so I like doing this a lot, and then you can choose to move 1 or 2 units. I think Legion's going for sure. Yeah, because having the hero there when you're going to plan on a Time of Triumph is important. But I think leaving the creeps might be the correct play.
Yeah, I don't think you surge anything at this point. It's more likely that you're going to get a 3 to 4 man Time of Triumph. He's going to smash his Salamandre's Favor. Doesn't need the extra mana at this point, of course. Gets the Emissary, though. You can double Stars Align right now.
Yeah.
And that is quite filthy. That is disgusting.
That is beautiful. Barry.
All right, so at this stage, do you even move anyone?
Yeah, I still think that you send the Legion Commander personally. Because even without the Legion Commander, you're doing more than half of the health, and you have Mists and Emissary for the following turn, but Legion Commander is yet another body, and it's something you can hit with Time of Triumph. And
there we go. Simple
unfortunately,
as that coup de grace.
Unfortunately, that coup de grace coming back, and what's worse is that means we won't see a Lodestone Demolition because PA is likely not making it back.
Yeah. Oh, Maggo, why have you done this to us? You had one job in your life to play Lodestone. Please.
You know what the worst part is with the update, there's a chance that when it's played, the animation is now sped up and we don't even know what it is.
Well, it wasn't in the notes, but maybe it's not good enough to be in notes. I don't know. We're going to see Time of Triumph. It's only 10 damage to the tower. Follow-up Time of Triumph to follow in all likelihood.
Yes.
Could just save it for the first lane, in fact.
I think that...
Yeah, you should, actually, just in case.
Well, yeah, I mean, you do have the Beastmaster coming back, so I guess that's reasonable.
And you might even think about blinking a hero to the first lane just to double ensure that you get this tower. Not sure what the actual
Yeah, they saved the time, and
okay.
This is going to likely be it.
Likely. Very likely, unless the most god tier arrows come about. I think both heroes have to go to this first lane. Lodestone Demolition, not going to do a whole lot from here.
No, unfortunately not.
How much damage did Lodestone do? Did we count it? Was it close to 10?
It was going to do 7.
7? He'd be 3 off right now? Maybe it wouldn't have made a difference. But the coup was definitely the better play, I do believe. So double miss comes.
So this is...
Time of Triumph.
Time of Triumph. And that's not even counting Beastmaster yet has to activate, and the Emissary has yet to activate. There is just nothing Maggo can do at this point. Like, you can coup the Beastmaster to prevent the activation and pull that damage off, but then once the Emissary taps, it will be over. And I don't know why you wouldn't take that coup there. Because now you're going to have the...
Now you're getting open up to duel.
Yeah.
I mean, at this stage, you have to take some risks to try to get back in this game. Was trying to play it a little bit... I mean, you only had one blocker anyway. Yeah, that... Wow. So Barry takes game 1, and I think Maggo's going to feel pretty bad about some of the decisions made. I mean, he played really well, and that's just one decision. I'm not even calling it a mistake.
I mean,
right?
I think that's appropriate, right? We're not saying that these are necessarily misplays. Sometimes in Artifact, you get forced to make a decision where you're not happy with either of the paths you take. And you don't know which one's going to be right, and then you find out, you know, later on, hindsight being 2020, hey, I could have went a different route. But unfortunately, it's only going to take one misstep in these games for things to get out of control.
And I think in the future, if Maggo does end up going out in this tournament, of course, it is only game 1, he'll come back, and he'll probably have to put 2 Lodestone Demolitions in his deck, because one wouldn't have cut it in this case.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Absolutely right. That's the key to victory. I mean, we did see a player yesterday with 2 Lodestones.
Yep, we sure did.
And they won.
He never played
One is not enough.
He never played them. So Maggo, again, we're going to see the same deck with the old Lodestone. Oh, wait, this is not the same deck, is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 1 PA with the Lodestone Demolition.
Commander.
And Barry.
Yeah, Barry is now on his red blacklist.
Yes.
And for this particular matchup, I think I prefer Barry's red blacklist. I think it's slightly favored because Chain Frost can clean up some of those things like the Red Mist Pillager, which would normally be okay here. You know, there's still armor and still high health pools on these heroes. Obviously, Tidehunter can soak a lot from a Chain Frost, but just being able to clear things up, it also gives you another source of initiative. Could be a difference maker as we move on.
And we're going to see Kraken Shell used for the armor purposes more so than the initiative to be able to trade favorably in the next round for Maggo. And both respective players will be putting PA in the first lane, it seems.
Yeah, and that's a great place for Phantom Assassin to sit, because if you do draw a gank, it gives you a lot of options. Neither player has one right now, but...
Oh, it'll be drawn eventually, my friend. Don't you worry.
There it is.
So gank, can you get a 2-for-1 special anywhere? You can kill the axe and live.
Yeah.
If you're Maggo, and then take the trade. You can see no items in hand, so that is almost certainly what will come about.
That would give Bristleback a buff.
That will give Bristleback a buff, plus the Cheeseburger Man will get a free
That's exactly
McDonald's
what
meal
we're going
here.
to see.
There we go.
So heads up play by Maggo here, recognizing where the value exists. You know you're going to lose your Phantom Assassin, so you might as well develop this and hope for a curve, but you... or excuse me, not hope for a curve.
Yeah, curve would have been disastrous.
Yeah, curve would have been bad.
No, I think here, not much to be done for Maggo. Does not want to play a unit unless he actually cares about the redirect of the arrow. Otherwise,
yeah, you
Viscous
probably,
Nasal
yeah,
Goo.
I was gonna say you probably develop Viscous Nasal Goo, because why not?
Yeah, I think Viscous Nasal Goo on somebody like LC is always always a welcome addition.
I mean, you don't need initiative for this third lane.
Right.
So
there we go. And easy Stonehall Elite. Set up perfectly
easy.
for him.
Feed that man.
And this could be the potential lane that a Red Mist Pillager comes down into next round if Lich is not deployed there, which I would be shocked if he was.
Right.
Where would you put Tidehunter?
I think Tidehunter likely goes in the first lane.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think you want it to go across from Legion Commander. Your third lane's already pretty well stacked. This gives you the ability to at least play cards here. And if the Lich comes, like, let's be honest, you're not scared of Lich.
Mm-hmm.
You're the creepy fish, right?
Yes.
You attack like a creep, but you are a healthy boy with 18.
Not really a fish, though. He's a fat watermelon. Did you know that's his nickname in Dota?
I did.
Fat watermelon.
He's a watermelon fish.
Yes, he's a good boy. Blink Dagger is great here because not only does it trade with the creep, but it gives mobility options for Tidehunter later on when Ravage is online.
Yeah, getting Tidehunter up to 4 attack is a big deal because it makes him less creep-like and starts clearing a path in front of him.
He's probably questioning whether he wants to Stonehall Elite or not. Red Mist Pillager almost certainly comes out in the last lane, so that means Stonehall Elite won't have a play this turn.
Yeah.
Thus, the trade is fine.
And to be honest, this is the lane where you are like kind of behind, so stalling a little bit works in your favor. Legion Commander throws on a cloak, but still has that negative armor, so taking...
How about some more negative armor?
I was going to say, taking some extra damage, and this Viscous Nasal Goo could start to stack up. But we do see a Jasper Dagger. If this Viscous Nasal Goo comes down,
that's true.
Jasper Daggers could remove it, but I think you're okay with that if you're Maggo, because then that means...
There you go.
Well, that's even better.
There you go.
I was going to say that means no daggers for the Tidehunter, right? Like saving daggers for a post-Ravage, it feels really important.
That is true.
I think that might have been a misstep or a misread by Barry.
I mean, that's pretty hard to read, though, at the same time, right?
Well, I mean, you can read the text on Tidehunter that says Ravage.
It's hard. Very difficult.
And piling into this first lane now is Maggo. Says, I want to own this.
Yeah, 3v3. So this first lane looks to be the hotly contested lane, which isn't that abnormal at all.
Yeah. And
Berserker's Call. Initiative is for Barry right now.
The longer this game goes, like the more that they just brawl back and forth, right? Brawls, not battles. Those Red Mist Pillagers will keep piling up. I mean, that tower is already being threatened this turn. So realistically, without any other help or interference, that has like a 2-turn clock on the Ancient.
Yeah.
So like tower this turn, one more.
And this is where Lich's Chain Frost actually is useful, though, right?
Yes.
To take out those... It's unlikely you'll be able to get all of them, but you can slow it down dramatically. Or drastically. Not dramatic. It might be dramatic. I don't know. Maybe.
Drastically dramatically.
Loses the Berserker's Call, but luckily has another one in hand. So not the biggest loss. Mag, in the meantime, can return the favor if he wants, as the Berserker's Call for him will not be too useful. Or he can just chill.
Yeah, I'm It kind of depends on what you want to do here, right? If you actually want to start trying to push damage here as well, then I'm okay with a coup de grace on Axe because that opens up 8 damage on the tower and you send him back. But I'm also kind of okay with just either passing
You can't escape my blade.
or yeah.
I think showing lethal is obviously the best way to pass the time here, and you can just phase boots now and take the hit. And
This is perfect
Yeah.
for
now
this
Axe has the choice of whether to die or just move lanes.
And even if Axe moves, then you could choose to follow. I mean,
Yep.
it's a 50-50 shot right now, but
I mean, either way, you should potentially take it because it's still a favorable trade for you,
right.
regardless of where you stand.
Either way, you're going to be trading with one of the heroes, and then even if more shenanigans pop up, you could phase boots and take out the Legion commander.
Right.
So
All right, we're gonna
instead,
actually-
wants to get rid of Bristleback.
All right.
I like this too.
Maybe we see Tidehunter move, actually. He'll survive this round, regardless of who he gets hit by.
You won't feel a thing.
Now we're going to see a coup now. Interesting.
Wow.
Okay, so Lich is gone. So this lane is now Maggo's. He's claimed it for himself. 2 Blink Daggers still available to use for the next round. Only 2 cards in hand, though.
Only 2 cards in hand. But they're 2 pretty good cards.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, he's looking for these end games, these end game cards, though. Time of Triumphs, of course, which, as we can see, they're in Barry's hand right now. And look at this, exact lethal. Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the Pillagers not connecting because of the melee creep, but still get a copy.
If there are no creeps for Barry in that 3rd lane, then he pretty much has to put Lich in that lane when he deploys next time around. Very
All
scary.
right, so there goes 1. You're kind of hoping that goes in front of the Cheeseburger Man if you're Maggo.
Oh boy, it did. Oh boy.
He's a hungry boy.
7 mana, so Spring the Trap is available to use. Use it offensively here. I like that. Now, do you blink the Tidehunter for Ravage, or do you just continue to take this
I think
lane?
you just
Okay.
keep pushing it because you've already taken that tower all the way to the right, so the
Yeah.
lower you get that, the better.
Boom. Okay. Yeah, plus Barry's not really pushing this lane very fast.
Yeah, I
despite
like.
having
I was
3
gonna say I
heroes.
like this Town Portal scroll, so you can redeploy into the first lane and generate even more pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now we're at 7 mana, so if you top deck Time of Triumph next turn, if
This is
your Axe
disgusting.
and your Legion are deployed in that first lane, then
Duel
that's
'em.
almost a guaranteed victory.
Duel it. All right, those red mists, that's a 2-turn lethal for sure. Now, Ravage, like you said, is available. No initiative on the side of Maggo, though. Gets 2 creeps. If he top decks a Time of Triumph, then
Yeah,
the game's just over.
This is just over. This is potentially over even if he doesn't get it here because you're not at risk of losing this tower.
Yeah.
You're not at risk of losing the Ancient in lane 2, and you've got
Exactly.
pressure
Yeah,
on lane
alright.
3, and it is over in favor of Maggo.
Well, Barry looks very upset, actually, for that one. My goodness, that poor soul. But it is tied 1-1.
It is
and
now tied 1-1.
That is just one of those scenarios where, I mean, we've seen it before, and that's why I really like the Red Mist Pillager, because there is a lane that is always given up, sometimes really early, and in this case it happened, and you almost have no opportunity to actually go there.
Yeah,
right?
the thing with Bristleback is if you get him rolling early, people become kind of afraid to go into that lane. You don't want to feed Bristleback over and over again, and then
Yeah.
when you have that Stonehall Elite, you don't want to feed that over and over again, and that just opens up Red Mist Pillager to go run wild all over that lane.
All right, so Barry using the same deck, of course,
Yep.
and Maggo using the ramp with Abaddon.
Yeah, and this is less favorable in my opinion. I mean, you're on red-black, and you still do have ganks in your deck, and the duels, and the ways to keep red-green ramp down, but Lich not nearly as effective in this matchup.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And then on Maggo's side, Abaddon. I don't know. We've talked about it before. I'm firmly in the Darkseer camp right now. I can understand the idea behind Abaddon being a hero that... I mean, I don't like the idea of a Photic Shield countering Time of Triumph. That's just so unrealistic, in my opinion. But there is one thing that Abaddon does do that other green heroes have trouble with, and that's staying alive. We've seen a lot of these ganks take him out from across the map, where you can just pop that.
But the thing is
borrow time.
that if it's coming from another lane, you can't pop and stop the gank from a Phantom Assassin.
Well, if you pop borrow time beforehand, though, If you're in like the first lane, for example,
Yeah.
if it's a following lane.
But
yeah, if you're ahead of them, then there's nothing you can do. But that's the way it goes.
yeah, ultimately the big reason that I think I just prefer the Darkseer is that it's good in other matchups as well, whereas the Abaddon, for example, does nothing against a blue matchup. His activation
Look at this.
does not matter against Annihilation.
A Photic Shield, my friend. Of course, you could put the Stonehall Elite down just to redirect the arrow from Axe. You could just develop it in front of a creep.
You could even go with something like Tyler Estate Sensor, because it's going to survive.
There you go. And that will be the choice.
I mean, you typically want to save that to like interrupt when somebody ramps, right? Mess with their math, but I think here you're saving your hero. It's going to survive for at least another turn, so you're kind of disrupting them. I think that's okay.
I also don't like Abaddon coming out last because you really need your green cards. We've seen this so many times where you get your ramp very early and then you just can't play it.
Right.
Because you only have one hero in lane and he might even be dead at that point.
I agree with you. I'm with you. I think that is potentially a mistake in deployment order.
But having said that, I do understand the idea of having just in general Abaddon come out last because his ability is available immediately.
Yeah.
But still, in this
again,
deck doesn't make much sense, I think.
I agree with you that the green cards are more important. The ability to, on that second turn, for example, play Salamane's Favor cross lane and then Stars Align is just too impactful to ignore.
And here we do see the Salamane's Favor, but I don't think it's going to be played, at least not in this lane.
You could cross lane play it to the last lane, knowing Bristle could go there the following round.
Right. And then follow up with a potential Roseleaf Druid, but all you can do is put it in front of the Cheeseburger Man, which eats it up over 2 rounds.
Well, if you're really that worried about it, you could play the Roseleaf and also just duel out the Stonehall, but we're using the duel here instead.
Yep, taking the PA out of the equation. Of course, this extra 4 armor helping out quite a bit. Blink Dagger on Bristleback, so does he move lanes at this point? Seems that's the case. Might go to the last one.
Might be going to that last lane just to try to snowball that further with this one not necessarily going your way anymore.
Maggo's just going to
That is what happens.
Okay. So Bristleback in the last lane. That means Treant Protector survives. So Stonehall Cloak. I mean, it looks pretty good for LC, at least on paper. He's going to take it. And the Tyler State Sensor's dead, which is pretty big.
Yeah,
which means that Salamane's Favor not going to be played to first lane, right?
Yeah, that Tyler State Sensor going down is opening things up for Maggo.
You play the Legion Standard here and try to get that trade? Looks
Yeah,
like it.
I think you have to. I mean, you're going to trade a Standard Bearer for
a duel.
For a duel.
Not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, you definitely take that. So Lich will survive as a result of this.
Now, Barry does have smashed their defenses. So if we see a cross lane Salamane's Favor, it is possible that the Legion Commander on the following turn during deployment goes back into that first lane.
And it looks like, so this is the new thing that was added for those that haven't seen the update. It doesn't actually change the camera over to where the Salamane's Favor is played. I'm sure it'll be touched up a bit in the future. I personally would really like text at least to say what lane it went to, so I don't have to
guess. Or maybe like have something blink up on the mini map.
Oh, up here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Just because that's always like a heads-up display thing, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think one thing they're probably trying to stay away from is making this too flashy because it can get too busy at times, probably, if you put too much information. But I do like that.
I don't need a slot machine to go up there, but even if it's just like a quick fading dot or something.
Yeah, that could work. All right, looks like LC will come to the first lane, and with initiative, you have to expect Smash will 100% come out. But will Maggo, draws emissaries, so this does actually stop.
And there it is.
All right.
And then
and he gets a Tyler State afterwards.
Yeah, even further here with the Legion Commander, it opens up maybe a duel on the Treant as well to slow things down even further.
Yeah, that could definitely happen. I mean, Berserker's Call, of course, Maggo can't see the opponent's hand at all. This opens up technically a lot of damage if you want to go for that, but the Roseleaf Druid will be developed for the 8 mana next turn.
All right, so now you have a decision to make, right? Because you could still try to duel the Roseleaf, but the problem is the armor is going to negate all of the Retaliate, so it's actually not gonna take it out.
Yeah, it's not enough. I only do 4 damage to that poor Roseleaf. I'm a little surprised that we're not seeing the death of Treant Protector. I totally agree.
am as well.
That means he's keeping initiative for something, and what would that be? This mid lane, you have Coup, perhaps?
You have Coup. Again, you also do still have that duel, so maybe you want to use it on Axe on the Legion Commander here. No, it is the Coup.
All right.
Coming
so that
down.
explains it. But by doing so, leaves this open for 8 mana next turn, so we will probably see an Emissary, unless initiative is taken back for Barry, because he does have a duel in hand.
The interesting thing about that move for Barry is it didn't do anything to open up extra damage, right? The reason I thought we might see a duel on the Legion Commander is this is one of the lanes that you're pressuring, and Bristleback hitting your tower for 8 kind of doesn't really matter. So it's an interesting decision.
Seeing 1 item in hand for Barry. Perhaps you do the Aphotic Shield on the creep to get the kill on Bristleback. I don't know how risky. I don't know how much he's been paying attention to the gold influx, but
yeah, if that happens, then we might see then the duel go to Abaddon before you can activate. Because if you're going to lose Bristleback anyway, maybe take a green hero out with you.
Right, and you might just see Borrowed Time popped as well, just to avoid that potentially. Nope, just going to pass.
All right, with the pass, Barry says I'm fine with this.
All right, Maggo picking up a blink, actually. That could be pretty big.
Yeah, if a Time of Triumph is drawn here, being able to time and have lots of mobility in hand, it's a big deal because this is not a Darkseer list.
Yeah. But right now, Barry, technically speaking, is winning 2 out of the 3 lanes. So what does Maggo want to focus on? There is no Time of Triumph. Emissary is there.
Yeah, Emissary, or we might see Spring the Trap just to slow things down.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. This last lane might be something you need to give up if you're Maggo. All right, he's going to go for the Emissary.
Going with the Emissary.
It's a big baller.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike this, but I would have not been shocked, for example, if we would have saw Spring the Trap by Maggo go here just to slow it down.
Yeah, so this develops obviously a huge creep in this lane, but the problem is Maggo is only winning 1 lane right now. And with the Blink Dagger, Barry can go to that mid lane, and now he is... I mean, you might see a double blink, as weird as that is. I feel like you have to try to do something to stem the bleeding in one of these 2 lanes. This is way out of control.
Yeah, I mean, we can see the hand, so we know that middle tower is not going to go down this round.
Right.
But Maggo does not know that and may be inclined to send somebody over, and that is the case. Axe is a perfect thing to send because depending on where he lands, it makes a Berserker's Call very attractive.
Problem is he only has 6 HP, and he's going to lose 2 of that armor once he leaves the side of Treant.
Well, depends. Oh, actually going to the 3rd lane.
All right, so I expect Treant to follow in that 3rd lane. And there's no point in going to the 2nd lane anymore.
No?
Yeah. Is he next to Axe? No, but he is next to the old Abbey.
So unkillable Abaddon is still unkillable.
Yes, he sure is. I mean, this is a nice thing about Emissary. It's a snowball in a different kind of way than Red Mist, right? If you have a few creeps, you're going to get that tower eventually, right? You don't need any heroes. Here comes the Chain Frost.
A big Chain Frost.
He does not find it. That is so terrible.
That left 2 heroes at 1 health.
And now Abaddon at full HP with the Borrowed Time. Oh, boy. And you can...
The back-breaking luck there, hitting the Axe, hitting the creep with the 2 armor multiple times.
Berserker's Call doesn't do a whole lot here. I mean, that's the good news for Barry is there isn't really a crazy response here. You can block. I mean, Spring the Trap is fine. I mean, but yeah, you can't save Treant Protector at the very least if you're Barry.
Yeah, but you lose your Stonehall Elite.
Yes.
And you didn't get any damage on the tower there. Like that That has to just feel so bad.
Yes, I feel bad for him. Horrendous, in fact.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, now Maggo gets a couple more heroes to deploy.
And if he gets Time of Triumph now, then that is
probably going to be game.
quite possibly. That's going to be 4 heroes versus 3. Of course, if Barry draws Time of Triumph and Maggo does not, then that could turn the tables the other way.
Yes, so this is a very important draw step.
Absolutely.
Now, it's also going to depend on who has initiative because Barry has Tyler Estate Censor in hand. So if he doesn't find his time, he could try to prevent it.
That's true. Okay, I missed that. That's definitely a good point.
Yeah.
All right, LC going to the first lane, though, to secure it.
It really is also a bit backbreaking that middle tower did not go down last round, so that you're not getting any ancient pressure. Not that that's really a path to victory here, but
That's true.
it is the sort of thing that you feel bad about.
So LC comes to this lane. Okay, Time of Triumph is picked up. Spring the Trap can also be played from here,
Yeah.
which you have to think is happening. Yeah, absolutely.
And
Time of Triumph on the other side, though, as well. So it is 3 versus 3, Time of Triumphs, and the tower is lower for Maggo. We'll see if that ends up making a difference. This could be a tie game.
yes, we might see a tie of Triumph and go to a Game 4 in this series. I have to think that we're going to see a Town Portal scroll here
Good one,
because...
by the way. Good one.
Hey, you're way better than Panda. You're my new favorite.
Panda just ignores your jokes. He ignores mine too. He just focuses in on his own world here. All right, Time of Triumph.
So Time of Triumph comes down, and now here's the thing: you can play your own,
Yeah.
or you could double a Photic Shield.
Yeah, you could. Are we actually going to see this come to fruition? He's been holding on to him all game. All freaking game long. He is debating it, no doubt about it.
You run this for a reason. This is your supposed counter.
Has that been officially said?
I mean, some people have posited that. I'm not necessarily a believer. I would be shocked if this is anything but
if
Time
you
of
do
Triumph
it-
personally, but...
If you do it, it has to be, one of them has to be on Bristle. And the second one, I suppose, okay, he's going to go for Time of Triumph.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would be shocked if it wasn't Time of Triumph because you can always use the Spot Weakness and a Photic Shields, or even a Photic Shields with Berserker's Call the following turn.
All right,
But that Daggers is a very big deal because now that means 2 of your Time of Triumph heroes are gone.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit surprised Barry didn't TP anybody out from mid to be able to get redeployed into this third lane next round, but maybe the initiative, he just felt very important at that stage.
Yeah, I'm also surprised by that as well, but yes, when you only have the 1 red hero, initiative is kind of a big deal. You don't want it to get dueled out or run into anything just accidental.
All right, this is pretty risky. So Treant Protector goes to the first lane. Obviously, you're going to get the pump from Emissary buffing everybody up, and you can blink Treant Protector, but you lose initiative. Time of Triumph is drawn again, though, which is pretty big. And you can blink 3 heroes, which comes out to 12 damage to the tower if all are blocked.
Which they would be because when they blink, they have to go to open spaces, so they're going to land in front of the 2 black heroes.
Yes. And then on the side of, all right, we're going to see Stars Align into a Photic Shield.
Yeah.
Or into a Photic Shield. That would be the day.
So we're going to see these
All right.
get buffed and then get sent
Yeah.
all the way to the right lane. Now, by playing the Time of Triumph here, it means that you have
a lot more mana in the third lane.
Yeah, more mana, but less
damage.
heroes, right? So
Yeah.
because you know we had talked about how it's only going to be 12 damage, right? Whereas if you would have waited, you might have had 16 to push through, even with the blocking.
Yeah, and you might need to save initiative here. I don't know if you can blink. How important is this? A duel is enormous for... Can you kill Treant Protector? This is a lot of math right now. I doubt it.
So here's the thing, right? Maggo really wants to get a Berserker's Call off on this Legion Commander.
Yes.
If that happens, I think Maggo just wins this game.
Ooh.
Ready for war.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then this game might just be over right now. It's going to TP out now. Might be a little too late. We're going to blink over, and this Berserker's Call will be massive.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna get to see this, man. I mean, maybe we will
We're not.
afterwards.
So this Berserker's Call is going to clean up just about everything. And then what's worse is there's only going to be a red hero left, so you can't even use Tyler Estate Sensor to try to block.
Actually, this should be a tie because he can duel the creep in front of Bristleback. Right? You have nothing to block. There's a Berserker's Call, so this is going to be a tie game, I believe. You have to duel the creep in front of Bristleback now.
Yeah.
And that's going to be game. So tie game. If Barry can see it, it shall be replayed.
Sorry.
He's going to block some damage with the Bronze Legionnaire to start. But as we can see, no more creeps to follow, so he's just delaying time right now. A Photic Shield can be used. How much damage does he go down to?
He should still go down to 10 because of the Jasper Daggers. He'll have...
So it'll be exact lethal.
He'll have exact lethal.
All right. Oh, he actually dies! Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my God, are you serious? A Photic Shield because of his H. Oh my Lord. I haven't seen that in an actual tournament game before. You look more composed than me, my friend. Jesus,
All right,
are
so
you serious?
Here's something that I very frequently forget about in Artifact, right? When you purge buffs, whether it's by getting rid of an item or in this case an actual purge effect,
yes.
If that health was keeping you alive, it kills you. So the game was counting the time of Triumph health solely for keeping the Bristleback alive.
Yes. And that is, again, not only have I not seen that in a tournament game, that was actually a winning play.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. I want to see what the panel...
It's not quite a lodestone demolition, but that's pretty good, Maggo.
Yes. I want to see what the panel thinks about this. Let's take a gander.